right. Okay, so we are on Space Engineers again. I know. So we are actually on one of my little creative worlds that I'm messing around with to use as testing out different ships and stuff like that in the regards of scaling, sizes, and everything like that. And I've actually brought in a ship that was built by somebody else. I will give them that credit. It is, where did it go? The Perseus Stealth Submarine by Mechanics_Bane. So, I have a strange obsession. I actually took a little U-boat and modified it from somebody else. No, this is not the updated one. Where's my updated one? Oh no, oh, there it is. Yep, here it is. This is my little U-boat. I gave it a little warfare Gatling gun right there, as well as it already had the rocket launchers on there. It was also a little, I mean, the interior and general body, I didn't change too much. I just changed the rear end and replaced a lot of it with heavy armor to protect these hydrogen tanks. But I left a little exposure to give it some more texture. My only downside with this ship is that it just runs out of hydrogen way too quickly. But at the same time, it is just my little fighters. These are my go out, explore, or not really go out and explore. Go out, shoot what I need, come back, and dock with my carrier or space station. And for this one, I wanted to get a larger grid ship to go into the fleet because I've got the U-boat started. I need to get some other smaller grids going, and I'm using a lot of this stuff for scaling because I like this to be just a general cruiser to go out and do some general battle, and I could potentially like put one of my U-boats on there and just kind of park it for a second to at least give it somewhere to land if it's low on fuel, because I know this rear deck, it doesn't, it'll probably be a concern, but I could technically park the ship like right here, or I could, if I could park it just right, I could probably park it right here. Oh, that's where the other camera's at. It wasn't the, oh, he's just got it sideways. That was the problem. Sorry, I've been trying to figure out where the camera view was on one of the, like, that was on the settings. I was a little concerned. What is that? Is that the light? That's the light. Okay. But I'm also fascinated with the way they made this little subgridded turrets. Solid camera placement. Love the railgun. And then I love the little tri-barreled minigun turret over here. And if you... Hey. We'll go down here to the bottom if it'll let me. Come on. No. You. Ah. Number 5, and then there it is. Which, love that. And that was 5, and here's number 6. No, you're not seeing a lot of damage. I built everything on this thing to be heavy armor. Fascinating that it was actually taking that much. There we go. Which I guess just shows my durability. But at the same time, I was purposely building out of heavy armor so it would survive, just in case. At least the majority of something would survive a ship crash. I don't know why people use the laser antenna. I get it for the sci-fi facts, but practicality is BS. I'm happy that this person decided to add an antenna, I believe somewhere actually in here in the rear. Embedded in here, if I go into spectator, or a former spectator. There we go. As you can see, my little section where I've actually built my little functional elevator right there. To at least get into my lower sections, which I'll slowly turn into which I was testing the space of rovers and how I'm gonna have to be working with something smaller and something larger, and I used what was this called? The VME stuff. Because they actually do provide some decent size, like small gridded vehicles, which kind of take up accurate space of what I would actually build my rovers to as a size. And I would like to make a dropship about the size of the Pelican, which is another reason I've got this one out. I always suggest this. This was a sexy ship. This was a beautiful execution. This is just my little general base setup for something kind of mock and put it together early on to see if I can kind of get a small base setup, hydrogen storage. So, my main computer room right here. Just a solar tracker, my ice and H2O processing plant. I figured that the size would be okay, but apparently even for the little submarine that I needed to spawn or wanted to spawn, it's still a bit too big even for this little landing pad, because my U-boats are going to be big enough to come through these bay doors, and they'll come in, they'll shift, and they'll kind of park themselves probably here in the space right here, because I'm going to refit this. But I'm also debating on that too, because I like having my little elevator up and down. So I feel like this is a spot that I could probably park them, or at least put some connectors up on the ceiling for the U-boat connector right up here at the top to kind of give it a spot to connect to. Because there is a ship that I have built. I kind of built it in like modules. And I called it the Othanan, which I will try and pop in. As you can see, this thing is a bit big, and I don't think it will float. No, it's just a tad too heavy. But that's kind of where I'm sitting right now. It's still a process. I'm still kind of envisioning, because I mean, it also, I hate the fact that I built this base on Earth, or the Earth-like planet, because I spawned Ignis, and then the gas giant right there. I think that's it. I think I also spawned the Maelstrom somewhere. But let's get all these things out of here. Let's go ahead and start cleaning up base. This will be a good home base. That. Actually, I think I've got enough fuel to kind of prove that this thing can kind of take up some It can do some stuff. You have to angle it right, just because I do not have a lot of... Because I think once you angle it up enough, I start losing altitude. There it is. Yeah, just technically passed it. And see, I've gotten pretty far away from the base. I could probably get away from my carrier. And I've only gone through so much. Though, a interesting ship that I've actually been kind of fascinated by is this. I would like to show this one off. This is a beautiful ship. Gotta give the creator some props. This is a very badass ship. As you can see, I'm kind of messing around with a lot of different blueprints, trying to get inspiration. I like a nautical theme. I always like just classic humanoid battleships and cruisers and such, just because it's got the human niche. I like it. But this is a very simple. It's huge. It's massive. Like, I'm barely the size of just one of the pods. Like, I'm nothing. And this over here, I believe, is where you can actually drive in some like rovers. And then we get into, those are not the entrance, by the way. It is, I like this one right here. I've been using this one a lot. It's probably like an emergency exit or some mess. But I use it just to quickly get in. It'll close on itself. This is docking bay. You go up here, enter this room, make sure you close. Come into here, you got passenger and everything like that. Cooking and science space, emergency exit, general quarters, and then the actual room. And then you get out, here we are. And that is going to be your vertical thrust up until you press 1. Let's say Altera. I was going to say. But we can get this pretty much out of atmosphere pretty easily without consuming much of any fuel. But it's a big bitch. It's a complicated big bitch. We'll go over to think tank. This is the one where I just kind of automatically got myself set into the void, just outside of atmosphere, just so I can test re-entry to see if it'll actually hold. That's how I tested the O Phantom and knew it wouldn't float. That's just because I really didn't make. Every cell on it was made out of heavy armor, which was my fault. I made her too dense. Oh, see, I just actually got into planetary gravity, so we can go ahead and try out. What was it that I was gonna try to bring in? Was it the cruiser hull blank slate? There we go. Out that. Doesn't look like these things are on. How do I keep doing that? I think that's just made it out of the basic skin. All rockets. Put turrets, turret. There, laser antenna. Thruster pods. Thrust. Cam. Yeah, this tracks. Gives you access to convey everything you need. Put your tanks. Tricky. Really is an empty hole. Really just put the thrusters there, and even that's an inconvenience because I could create my own cells. What the heck is that? Oh well. Yes, I forgot. This is the one with the very interesting interior. Actually, maybe I can actually show this off in the void. Without having to mining carriage. Oh. This thing is just freaking huge. It's always surprises me every time I see it. Anyway. That way we actually get a proper look at the beautiful thing. So let's say I think coming through here. You get the lights. Everything opens up. Even that's rising. Here, drive up your rovers, and I believe there's actually buttons on here. So you get on here, you get your rover, you close that up. Oh, push after flight. So what it means technically push after flight. Let's just say we're technically in the air. We'll say that. We would push this, whatever rovers you have. I think are technically locked in place just because the action of being parked is still held even after they're lifted. And that would let you get onto this little ladder. Or stairs. Get in here. Pressurize. Come in here. This is also another fancy thing. Hold on, let's see. Cargo lights off. Ship name light off. And then what's happening is those little gates outside have opened up. And you'll see, yeah, there they come. The little solar panels pop out slowly. once you get here, this is where I can actually kind of show. You press 1, the modules start aiming themselves up, and so do the flaps. Yeah, and so do the lower thrusts, removing all bottom thrusts, closing them up so that I'll actually protect them, and having all forward thrusts. And then if you press 3, that is just the landing gear. As you can see, those slowly open up. You've got this large set back here, and then you have a smaller set actually at the front towards the nose. Which will still not be anywhere interfering with the thrust. Press it again, they'll go up, they'll close. From what I picked up, there's not a lot of other buttons that do too much else. And these aren't set up to anything. Interior lights, cockpit lights. Logo light. We have a logo light. Oh, cool. Oh, well, this happens sometimes too. But yeah, that's as far as that goes. And I guess if we were to look back at this, like the body shape design and the turrets. Oh, this one's not bad. I would just rather know. This is a very interesting design of a railgun turret. Because these are the kind of ships I'd rather have like in bulk next to each other in my little supply train. Just seeing 3 of these little fuckers is scary as hell enough. And then on top of that, having the little U-boats that I've got coming out as swarms. A dangerous game. This one, I don't know if I even had a chance to try it out. Where you going? Fascinating. This is meant for atmosphere only. Where did my ship fleet go? There we go. Or I'd say my little makeshift fleet. I could probably actually just cut it out and take the guns. That's the big thing. taking the guns. I like the body shape too. Oh, I just need the build to be mine. Need to be my design. I'm even going to redesign the U-boats at some point. Anyway, back to the little Phantom. She was meant to be my capital ship. Let's see, we've got I've got multiple cockpits going across the ship. And I did try to add like a little nose for just in case. Get down there and kind of show off what I've done so far. Let me get into here. But this is just not small basic stuff. Actually, if we go over here, this is another airlock to separate, because the ship, like as I said, was built in modules. I built the ship in sections separately at that. It was a pain to line up the doors. This will be my oxygen and hydrogen storage. And once I get down to here, then we actually get to my U-boat hold, and as you can see, I've got those coming down on the ceiling. But yeah, these will open up on the floor. They're connected to cargo. I believe it's also did on this side. This is my hydrogen room. This was going to be the programming room or computer tech room, but it's still a design. For right now, I've got, I think, yeah, 6. Got 6 docking bays underneath. Let's see here. I tried to make it meant for space, or for just atmospheric conditions. This bitch is heavy. She too big. I think it's this one next door. Yeah, that actually has access to my industrial. And this one just kind of lets you look underneath and watch as the U-boats land and dock. And of course, stepping out here. those closed up so at least all the vents can close. That's kind of left most of it, honestly. Oh, damn. I missed. And I was actually going to connect this to something, but I did not. I'll go through up here. Less stuff in the way. Okay. Oh, wait, well, yeah, all my doors are set up to timers too, just to allow, hopefully, nothing to vent out too badly. Get back into here, close up my vents. But yeah, as you can see, the center section being, the front section has not been turned into anything. That is just pure hole. And then, of course, the 2 observation decks were built each. Yeah, actually, I can show it off in the modules. So I've got the engine room as a module. It's just a simple block that I've used. I will typically use for the center storage. Actually, I thought I updated this room. I did not. Interesting. Here's the hangar bay module. This is what you see underneath the ship, and this is built into 3 different sections, as you can see. These are just back to back, and then it comes into the engine room, which also transitions into my industrial cockpit. And then I've got my, this one I've done is my land storage, just as my oversized hydrogen tank. Let's see here, my industrial cockpit, which I placed underneath my ship, right here. My observation deck. Which you'll know as my little top section where my main everything is at. Lower gas storage, which originally the design was meant to basically hold as like the barrel of the MAC gun, but also doubled as the storage. As you see, there's the thruster cells, the upper version of that hydrogen tank, or the barrel. And then of course my old base that I've got set up. A couple solar seekers and general hydrogen tanks, which I was using as a temporary base to build something to start this, and then I just stopped. But I guess for right now we'll, oh yep, there's my black hole. Well, I got a couple hot bars set up with a lot of different things. That I was using for at least temporary time.